Hi, welcome to Gabie's Knit Goodies. I am Gabie, and I'm in a new location today. But you can find me at Gabie's Goodies on Instagram and Ravelry, and Gabie's Knit Goodies, I think, on loveknitting.com. And I have lots of knitting to show you today. Alright, I guess we'll start with what I'm wearing. I have on the Ladyfingers sweater by More Thunder, and it's knit out of Zen Yarn Garden banana split colorway, like Miniskeins set, and I think they were like 50 gram Miniskeins. Might have been 20 gram Miniskeins. I can't remember. Anyways, all the details about this sweater is in a previous podcast. I'll link it either above or below somewhere in the video. What else do I have? I guess I'll continue with finished objects while I'm on them. I wanted to show you guys that February hat that I knit for my husband. I think last time I showed pictures of it, but I didn't have that actual hat because he was wearing it. And this is it. It is the February hat, Kelborn Woolen's Year of Hats, and it's a free pattern on Ravelry online. And this one is knit out of Malabrigo Rios Sandstorm colorway. It has a double brim, and when I first knit it, it seemed like it was a fairly small circumference, but it totally fits my head and my husband's head without a problem. And this yarn is very squishy, and I like it. This pattern just has multiple textures in it, so it's nothing too complicated. Probably the most complicated part of the whole pattern is just the provisional cast on to do the double brim. But I really like that. It adds a nice squishiness. And it seems, the double brim makes it feel professional to me. I don't know, he really likes his hat though. And you all know I've been on a hat kick. I finished this one, which is the March hat by Kelborn Woolen's, a free pattern from their Year of Hats. And it is also knit out of Malabrigo, in a gray, some type of gray colorway. I'll put the name of it down below. So, you may remember this hat, this waffly textured hat from before Christmas. I think way back in like November maybe. I knit this hat for my sister who lives in Alaska and sent it to her, and I liked it so much I really wanted to keep it for myself. But I didn't. I sent it to her, but I actually ordered yarn and made myself one because I like that one so much. It's very squishy. It's just nice. It has a nice little slouch to it. I did knit the larger size, and I feel like it calls for 3 different needle sizes, but what I did was knit this bottom section in the smallest needles, and then I switched to the largest ones for the pattern. I think they call it like a seersucker pattern, but it's kind of like just a textured waffly stitch. So it's got a very long ribbing section on it. I don't know, I think it's cute though. What do you think? Has a nice slouch to it. Alright, what's next? I have another finished object. This one is my design for a sweater for Snow is Coming. That's what I'm calling it. it is all done. So it's knit bottom up in the round with the 2-color color work, and then when you split for the sleeves, you stop your color work and you knit flat. You pick up stitches for the collar and for the sleeves, and I added this one little design on the wrist of the sleeve, which I really like. I'm really happy with it. It is, it's nice and long, and I think that I'm going to write up and knit up an add-on for this sweater so that you can knit and attach a kangaroo pocket, because I love pockets, and I think every garment needs pockets. So we'll see how that goes. The pattern for this sweater is ready for test knitters, and I have 3 sizes. It's meant to be slightly oversized. This is the smallest size, the one for me. And I have 3 sizes larger than, or 2 more sizes larger than this. So I will put some of the information down below. And I have one person who's interested in test knitting it lined up already. So I'm hoping that maybe some of you guys will want to test it too. I am very excited about it. It's knit out of the fisherman's wool primarily. That's what the main color is. From Joanne Fabrics is where I got it, which is, it's like a worsted weight non-superwash yarn. So, you know, your equivalent substitutions, but that's the primary yarn that I used. And then the black, this doesn't come in black. It comes in like a dark brown, but it doesn't come in a black. And I really wanted that kind of black and white look. And so I ended up using Paton's classic wool yarn, which is a worsted weight 100% wool yarn, as my black. So anyways, I'll put more details on that below, and some more details about sizes too. And I am in the very final stages of finalizing the pattern. I really just need to finish figuring out my yardage for the other sizes. So that's very exciting for me. Let's see. I guess that's all for finished objects, and I'll move on to works in progress. I have a couple of those. My first one, let's see. So I'm going to make a cowl, and I'm actually using the pattern by Espace Tricot. I think that's how you say it. They have a podcast, and they have a yarn store. Oh, excuse me. Sorry, my phone rang. So like I said, Espace Tricot has a podcast as well as a yarn store up in Quebec, Montreal, Canada. There's their information. And they had shown, this was a long time ago, a cowl that they designed, or someone in their store designed. And it's almost like, if you remember one of those old-fashioned dickies, where like a turtleneck dickie, where it's not the whole shirt, it's just the neck part of the shirt and it tucks down in. It's almost like that, because it's knit flat. The cowl is knit flat. It has a flat part on the front and the back. And then you'd start knitting in the round to make the tube part to come up. And it's all like 1x1 rib, and they use, I think it's more like a fingering weight, and they hold it double, and then they kind of fade it with a marled effect. So they have like their 2 dark colors held together, and then they do 1 dark and 1 light, and then they go to the light colors held together. But I am substituting yarns, so I'm not doing it quite that way. Oh, it is a free pattern called Flying Solo. So I found it on Ravelry, and I don't know, it might be on their website as well. They have espacetricot.com. So my yarns are alpaca, I was gifted this yarn by my mother-in-law, I think like a year ago.
I'm going to call you back.
This is the yarn. It's called Alpaca Wacka Barn and Pastures, and it's somewhat local to me. It's from North Carolina. Here's their info, if you can read that, hopefully. And it is 100% alpaca, 200 yards. And they say it's like a sport weight. So I got two of them. One is this dark color, nice dark brown. And the other one is this nice creamy natural color. I don't think they actually dye either one of these. I think it's all just the natural fiber from the animal. Isn't it pretty? I'm excited. Now, alpaca is known to be very warm and lightweight, as well as very soft, but it can have guard hairs in it, which can be kind of, they say it has a pick or whatever, slightly itchy. And I have found that this darker one definitely has some guard hairs, and it's not as like next to my neck soft as the cream color or the natural color. This natural color is very soft, and I think it'll be fine up next to my neck. But the brown, I'm not sure I'll want it all up on my neck. So my plan is to have the darker at the bottom, and I've already knit the first flap, and so then I need to knit the back flap the same way, and then I'll join them in the round. And like I said, the pattern calls to like marl the colors, but since I'm only holding mine single instead of doing it double because it's a thicker yarn, I think that I might stripe it. So I think I might do this dark, and then the next section I think I'm going to stripe it like one row at a time. And then in the last section I'll just have the cream. And the cream is the soft one. So I think that'll work well, because then that one will be the one that's, you know, up under my chin. So it looks kind of like a slouchy, lots of fabric for this cow. So I think it'll work well. The other thing I want to do that's a little bit different is I'm thinking about adding a thin piece of elastic at the top. It actually calls for a tubular bind off, so I think that might work well to add in a thin piece of elastic, because if it's cold and windy, then I want to be able to pull up my cowl on my, like up above my nose, and it stay. And sometimes knitting it'll stretch, and I don't want to make the whole cowl really tight so that it stays on my face. I like it a little looser, because when the wool is close up on my neck and tight, it kind of feels itchy to me, or just kind of bothers me just a little bit. So I was thinking if I put a little bit of elastic in the top, I'd be able to pull it up and it just stay if it's like cold and windy and I need my nose warmed up. So that's my thought. I figure I could even potentially put like one of those little pinchy things on it, so I could tighten it when I want it and loosen it when I don't. We will see. I'll let you know how that goes for me. I don't know if anybody else has done that before. I have heard about putting elastic in the neckline of like doubled neck bands, the ones that are folded over, but I've never done that before. So it might work. Then the last work in progress that I wanted to show you is actually a gift from my mom. So Mom, if you are watching, please stop, otherwise she'll spoil your gift. However, if it's after your birthday, then you can look. And you already have your gift. I got, for my birthday, I got a set of minis, 5 20-gram minis. by Glam Yarns. It is 80/20 nylon merino, 2-ply fingering weight, and the colors are Blue Grade Day, Perseverance, Smoulder, Dahlia, and Srendipity. They do have a website, and she is also on Instagram because I tagged her the other day and she responded. So that's exciting. It's always exciting when that happens. So I'm making my mom a wide scarf. I've made her a, I think only one shawl, like triangular. It was an asymmetric triangular shawl. She tells me recently that she doesn't like triangular shawls. She likes the rectangular ones. So I am making her a rectangular one. These are 2 of the yarns that I have left from my Miniskeins set, and I hand wound them all. It was kind of fun doing that because they're Miniskeins, so they don't take forever to hand wind, but and it just seemed funny to put them on my ball winder because my ball winder has a fairly wide center to it, and so for such small amounts of yarn it seemed I don't know, funny to put them on there. But these are really pretty. These are the like pops of color in the set, and the other ones I've already knit up. Now I'm designing this shawl myself, or scarf myself, and like I said, I have the 5 20-gram Miniskeins, and I am combining that with Mohair. I have this giant spool of Mohair. It is very fuzzy, but it's not like kid silk Mohair. It's not quite that soft, but it is nice and fuzzy, and I think I want to make a whole sweater out of it. I have so much lovely Mohair that I ought to do something big with it, I think. But right now I am using it with these Miniskeins, and I am just using a Miniskein until it's all gone, and then I'm doing about the same amount of knitting with the Mohair. I have not steamed this or anything, but I have a lace section, and then it's just garter, and then I was just going to do it like that, but I thought the other side needed a little something. I didn't want to put my lace in the middle. I don't know. I thought it would be a little more interesting to have it off-centered. But I did a little lace texture on this side that kind of mimics the same shape as the bigger one over here. So then I do a nice chunk of the same pattern in the Mohair. I think it turned out really pretty in the Mohair. This section is actually what makes me want to do a sweater in this Mohair, because it's just so like soft and pretty and shows off the lace nicely. So that kind of makes me excited. And this color is a little more purpley. And then this one has multiple colors in it. Like it has the blues and the purples, and it even has like a little bit of green in there. I think it's pretty. I really love all the hand-dyed yarn, the variation in them. Some people don't, but I love knitting with it. I don't always, I tend to like to wear more of the solids, but I love knitting with the variegated yarn and the speckled yarns and all of the fun stuff. So I'm excited about that. I think she'll like it. It's just kind of fun and not overly complicated, but it still has a good amount of interest because of that one section of lace running along it. So one side will be kind of more subdued, and then the other corner will have the pops of color, and so she can kind of choose what kind of mood she's in on which end she hangs in front. Hopefully she'll like it. I think she will. We will see. My lace pattern that I'm using is a modified pattern from the Japanese Knitting Stitch Bible. I love these things, and they're very inspiring, but sometimes they're a little bit complicated to want to do for like all over lace knitting or textured knitting. And so it's kind of nice to have a little bit of it, but not have it everywhere, and then just have them like mindless garter. So that's working out fairly well. I'm excited about it. The only other thing I wanted to talk about is my next project that I would like to do, or the project that I want to do coming up, and that is I want to knit for my stash. However, I don't like the idea of having like a stash only knitting year, because a lot of times my stash does not marry up with the project I want to knit. And I have a few skeins of really cool yarn that just does not fit in any like regular project that I like fashionably want to wear out. I have some like thick, thin, kind of chunky homespun looking yarns, and they're really fun, but they're not, maybe not my fashion style, I guess you could say. So my plan is to knit Stephen West Penguono out of stash yarn, because his patterns, which I've never knit one of his patterns before, so I think that'll be fun. But they seem to be very much suited for like that kind of knitting. And my plan is to have like a house coat, something that I wear around the house, and it just makes me happy when I see it and put it on, and cozy. So that's my plan. And I was thinking it would be really fun to do some type of cowl, which I've never done on the channel before. So if you guys would like to join me in a cowl to knit from stash, and I was thinking it could be like a Stephen West stash bustin' cowl, or a stash bustin' penguono cowl, or something along those lines. You'll let me know what you think it should be called, and we'll do a hashtag on Instagram. I'll have to look it up and make sure I'm not duplicating someone else's Stephen West, I can't even speak, Stephen West stash bustin' cowl tag. I don't know if there's anything else out there. And then I have a Ravelry group, Gabie's Knit Goodies Ravelry, in the community page, and I try to put up my test knits on there. Well, I do put up my test knits on there, but I try to also put up my show notes on there, and I will put up a discussion page where you can show your photos and discuss your stash bustin' Stephen West pattern that you're knitting. And we'll also, of course, have the hashtag on Instagram, which is probably where I'm a little more active. But yeah, so I think that might be fun. I think on my next podcast, I will try to gather up my yarns that I want to use, that I've been kind of having my back of my mind to use for the Penguono. I think it'll be fun. So let me know if you're interested down below, and also let me know if you're interested in the test knit for the sweater, the Snow is Coming sweater. Yeah. So anyways, I hope the whole cowl thing works out, because I think it'd be really nice to have a little more back and forth, because I show you guys all of my knitting, which I love to talk about my knitting, of course, but I really like to see other people's knitting too. So it would be really fun to kind of be able to knit with you guys and see what y'all are knitting too. So anyways, I hope you guys are having a wonderful day, and a happy start to your 2021 within your own home, within your house. No matter what's happening on in the world, I hope that your home is a safe and happy place. Talk to you later.